So we've talked about these 4 categories of targeted therapy: angiogenic, PARP, IO, antibody-drug conjugate. I want to ask each of you what the combination is that you're most excited. I get it, we said maybe we can give them all together, frontline, cure more patients. But if you had to pick, Katie, a combination of, you got 4 classes now, which is the doublet targeted therapy that you're most excited about?
So just based on experience, I'm most excited about mirvetuximab and bevacizumab, which is going to be presented at this meeting.
Yeah, so I didn't really talk about that, but that is an exciting opportunity, and we've seen some dramatic and durable responses, and thank you. Tom, what is the doublet targeted therapy? You talked about a number of them.
I think the safe bet is PARP and anti-angiogenics. I think the one with a higher ceiling potentially, but also more likely to fail, is PARP and IO.
Leslie, what's your doublet targeted therapy that you're excited about?
Oh, the failure, PARP IO.
PARP IO.
And I'm looking for duration of response.
It has a higher ceiling.
But isn't that great? So I asked 3 of you, I got
Yeah.
different answers, right? Antibody drug conjugate, Bev PARP, IO PARP. So now you get to break the tie.
And I will say something different yet, and I tell you why. I think there is good evidence belief that bevacizumab and an immune checkpoint inhibitor might have synergy. Bevacizumab has been shown in preclinical models to increase infiltration of T cells. What VEGF does is actually builds a shield around the tumor. It doesn't let the T cells in. And you can make a tumor hot with Bev. In these cases, I think an immune checkpoint inhibitor that activates T cells in the tumor might be more effective.
So that's stimulating to me, right? That we have multiple active targeted therapies, multiple combinations, and that we share different levels of excitement. But the key is clinical trials, right? And so I want to thank all 4 of you for your commitment to clinical trials. This has been extremely informative. Before we end this discussion, I'd like to get our final thoughts from each of our 4 panelists. Oliver, you have the final word.
Right. Well, thank you for moderating this very exciting discussion. I really appreciate this. And, I think we're in an era of rapid drug development. I think we are finally moving the dial in ovarian cancer. I tell my patients this almost on a daily basis, that we have made progress. And I'm personally very excited about the next steps.
Leslie, any final words?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, except to just add that we actually have a prevention method now, and that's with identifying our BRCA mutation carriers and operating on them.
Tom?
Thank you for wonderful moderating today. I do think that, Oliver, you said it well earlier, the translational components of all these trials. So I think the first message is these patients have to be going on clinical trials, or we're not going to be able to solve all these difficult combinations. The multifactorial on all these different drugs coming through the pipeline is just too great for a much higher percentage of our patients not going on trial for us to answer. So we have to have more patients on trial, and we have to do these translational components to understand how to have the next generation of trials be more specific for these patients.
Katie?
I don't know what I can add to that. Other than, I agree. I think just looking at it a little bit differently as a clinical trialist, so many great drugs designed for ovary cancer from the beginning, not just the kind of leftovers that didn't work in breast cancer and other things. So smart, well-designed clinical trials that are coming out at really kind of a rapid pace that, when I see patients, and I do all early phase drug development, patients come and they've been told there's nothing else for them. And at our site, we can say, we got a lineup of things for you, and really provide patients with exceptional agents that help prolong their lives and contribute to the science. And so I think patients really are excited about the fact that we care enough about them that we're working this hard to develop drugs.
And I'd like to add that there's value in high volume centers. So fortunately, gynecologic cancers are rare. I think you mentioned that in the low volume setting, there might be some differences in opinion. But experience is important here, and I think that is important for patients.
And awareness of clinical trials.
That's right.
And awareness of how to manage toxicities.
Mm-hmm. So thank you all for your contributions on this discussion. On behalf of our panel, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you found this peer exchange discussion to be useful and informative. So long for now.